Oklahoma City Thunder are rapidly ascending towards the top of the NBA after a few years of rebuilding. With the Thunder returning to the upper echelon of being led by these West Shai, Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren, guys, it's only a matter of time before they take over the NBA. So let's analyze the Oklahoma City Thunder's comeback story. The Thunder beat the Toronto Raptors 135-127 in Paycom Center for their third straight win. After trailing by as much as 23, the Thunder came back and made plays down the stretch to close it out. The 27-13 Thunder boasts the NBA's fourth best offense. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is an unstoppable force and MVP candidate. Chet Holmgren is already a premier stretch big. Jalen Williams is a bull with the ball capable of burying all sorts of tough twos. The roster is stuffed with lights-out three-point shooters like Isaiah Joe and Lou Dort. The Thunder have multiple weapons that can shred defenses in multiple ways, and they deploy these talents in lots of interesting ways. One go-to tactic is that they slip screens, meaning the player positioned to set the pick rolls to the hoop before actually making contact with the opposing defender more than anyone else in the NBA. The Thunder took control in the second overtime and jumped out to a 7-point lead. The Raptors cut it to 3 before Josh Giddey's and one sealed the game and capped off this season-high 24-point performance. The Raptors led for most of the first overtime until Gilgeous-Alexander nailed a game-tying three-pointer in the final minute. The Thunder star blocked Gary Trent Jr.'s potential game winner at the buzzer a few possessions later to force a second overtime. After Gilgeous-Alexander missed a mid-range jumper near the end of regulation and RJ Barrett got the rebound, Josh Giddey knocked the ball loose, causing Barrett to go out of bounds. Trailing by 2 with 5.8 seconds left, Giddey found Aaron Wiggins open in the paint for a game-tying layup. With 7:57 left in the fourth quarter, Vasilij Micic found Lou Dort inside for the Thunder's first lead since early in the first quarter. The Raptors did not let the Thunder gain any separation and tied the game multiple times before retaking the lead. Gilgeous-Alexander found Chet Holmgren for a dunk early in the fourth quarter to bring Oklahoma City within 3 and force a Toronto timeout. A couple of minutes later, Dort found Josh Giddey on a fast break for a push layup to tie the game. With a lackluster effort in the first few minutes of the third quarter, the Thunder's deficit ballooned to 23. But the Thunder responded with a 19-2 run to cut the Raptors' lead to 6. During that stretch, Wiggins made three-pointers, including one that brought the margin back to single digits. Jakob Poeltl's tip-in put Toronto up by 15 midway through the second quarter. It was Oklahoma City's largest deficit and forced Mark Daigneault into calling a timeout. The Thunder's performance the rest of the half did not improve as the Raptors' lead reached as much as 17 and took a 63-47 lead into halftime after Gary Trent Jr. nailed a three-pointer off an offensive rebound. Cason Wallace's 8-point performance was enough to make him the Thunder's leading scorer in the first half. Among other offensive issues, the Thunder attempted just 2 free throws and had 4 more turnovers than the Raptors. The Thunder's offense struggled in the first quarter, scoring 23 points and shooting only 43% from the floor. Entering the game in the bottom half of the league in defensive rating and giving up 135 points in their last game, the Raptors had a much-needed start on that end. Entering a matchup against the Clippers, Thunder screeners had slipped 23.1% of all screen and rolls that ended in either a shot, turnover, or pass leading to a shot, the most in the league. They led the league last year in this category as well. One reason is that the Thunder pride themselves on throwing all sorts of different players into pick and rolls. Sure, Holmgren will do some typical screen and dive stuff, but they'll also toss in various versions of guard-guard pick and rolls. On many of these actions, there's no need to actually set the screen since a switch would often be irrelevant. There's no mismatch hunting if the two defenders guarding the pick and roll are both similar size wings. And so the quick slip and the way it's timed can throw off a defense and be more effective in confusing a defense and triggering rotations. There are many reasons that the Thunder have emerged this season as true title contenders. One is because in Mark Daigneault, the current Coach of the Year frontrunner, they have a coach on the sideline with the creativity and intelligence to unleash all their talent in all sorts of interesting ways. As recently as last fall, Dunn's NBA career appeared to be over. After being selected 5th overall by Minnesota in 2016, he spent time in Chicago and Atlanta before a series of leg injuries cost him the majority of the 2020-21 season. He proceeded to bounce between 10-day contracts and G League deals. Then in February 2023, he landed in Utah, where he remained after a pair of 10-day deals. He impressed the Jazz enough that the team brought him back this season. But no one within the Jazz organization could have anticipated the impact Dunn would have going forward. On the surface, Dunn's numbers look pedestrian: 5 points and 4.1 assists in 17.1 minutes per game. But Jazz head coach Will Hardy's mid-December decision to insert Dunn into the team's starting lineup changed the team's season and upended the Western Conference playoff picture. The second half gave Oklahoma City trouble, though, as its 10-point advantage out of halftime slowly dwindled with Donovan "Spida" Mitchell finding his rhythm offensively. Fending off a third-quarter run, the Thunder entered the final frame up by just 4. The game just continues to keep slowing down for Gilgeous-Alexander. Seemingly, in each one he competes in, he improves upon his pace, leverage, and overall gravity as a scorer. As he probes around the elbow and dissects the pick and roll, it's almost like he's in slow motion. Against the number 1 defense from a year ago in Mitchell and the Cavs, Gilgeous-Alexander put up 34 points on yet another efficient shooting night, going 15 for 26 from the field. But this time, he did it with no points at the charity stripe until he was intentionally fouled at the end of the contest. It would have been his first night since December 2021 not to have recorded a free throw attempt had he not been given those free throws to ice the game. While Mitchell displayed his shifty acceleration and speed to get his 43 points, Gilgeous-Alexander instead flaunted his patience, methodical approach, and knowledge of angles to claim his 34, having little help from the refs. Lu Dort's confidence was exuberant, building off a productive performance from Oklahoma City's season-opening victory earlier in the week. Dort was absolutely imperative for the Thunder's eventual win over Cleveland, as he notched 25 points on 69% shooting with 3-pointers alongside a steal and a block. Known for his lockdown perimeter defense, Dort's progression as an outside shooting threat is contingent on his selection, preparation, and confidence, all of which he showed in the team's win. Not only was he hitting from outside, but he also converted a massive layup to give the Thunder a 104-102 lead with 28.6 seconds to go before the Cavs called timeout. So that's all for today. What do you think about the massive comeback of OCT? Can they pace up the form? Comment down your thoughts. Hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe for more.